Sonic got a good bit of racing games, but a few of them, they kinda...
I shall banish you from the pits of hell once you can.
But there are a few Sonic racing games that are actually really good with some of the best racing mechanics I've ever seen.
And one of them is actually just a fan upgrade to Sonic Riders Zero Gravity.
Sonic Riders Regravitified gotta at least be in my top 5 favorite racing games of all time. Zero Gravity off the bat already had some pretty ass levels with good level design, but it kinda fell flat when it came to the gameplay. And that is exactly what Regravitified fixes.
So I'ma just be going over Zero Gravity and Regravitified pretty much at the same time.
And if you're confused about what I just said, you probably don't understand the gravity of the situation.
Some people say this game doesn't have as much style to it as Sonic Riders did, but the shit just ain't true.
This game just pretty much goes for a futuristic sci-fi feel and nails it.
And you know that shit hit, because the only time I'm talking about nails is when I'm outside.
Throughout the game, you'll see a lot of laser beams, flying cars, elements floating out of nowhere. All of that together really hits the futuristic, utopian feel of the game. Man, I've been hanging around the gas station crackheads too much. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. I feel like there's a lot to love about this game when it comes to the aesthetic. In almost every single track, there's a section of it that I actually wouldn't mind living at.
Maybe it's because I live in a litter box, but that's besides the point. Basic movement in this game is pretty much the same as Sonic Riders.
Of course, you hold the A button and then let go to jump high on slopes. Of course, you still got character type shortcuts in almost every single track.
And you still do have a boost, but you might not want to use it.
The boost in this game takes half of your gravity meter, but it also gives you access to boost type shortcuts. But the boost itself just doesn't feel that much like a boost. It really feel like you gotta breathe on a nigga neck just to hit him.
Pause.
There's also a pretty decent drift mechanic. The drift is mainly used to just go across tight ass corners.
And it does it pretty well, but that's basically the only thing that it can really be used for.
I mean, you can also use it to gain a little bit of speed when you're extremely slow, but it don't really work like that. There's also gravity mechanics. With gravity control, you usually go through shortcuts throughout the level. These ain't character type shortcuts or boost shortcuts, but they more like, gravity shortcuts.
I know, I'm so good at naming shit. I named this nigga Bartholomew.
Gravity shortcuts are almost always really good to take. Almost every single gravity shortcut in the game feels so meaningful. I'ma just be calling them alt routes because that's pretty much what they are. Anyways, gravity control can also be used if you fly off the track and want to save yourself.
I just feel like gravity control is probably one of the best mechanics in the game.
You can use it for so much shit and it doesn't really break the pace. And I feel like gravity dash is really good too. It's pretty much the real boost of the game. It lets you be able to fly across the track for as much gravity power you have.
So theoretically, I could fly to Egypt and twerk on the pyramid.
When you use the gravity dash, parts of the level start breaking apart. And when they are broken apart, you can dash off of them.
And that's it, but it's still cool as fuck.
There's also the gear upgrades, and most of the time they really don't do much. You need a certain amount of rings to activate one, and once you do, then you got the power and you can activate it. Yay. Usually they don't really do much except for give you a slight speed boost, but sometimes they can actually give you different character type shortcuts. So now you get to punch through cars as Sonic. Yay.
Hit my car and that's gonna be a lawsuit.
The game as a whole is just really good, and I suggest anybody who watches video tries it out. I mean, unless you already did. In that case, fuck you.